A pleasant good morning to all and sundry, sundry and all, and welcome to this edition of Richard's Rant. Of course, you know the morning is the best time of the day, and regardless of the time of the day that you have invited me into your home, into your ears, for which I am grateful, I'm wishing you that special sentiment of goodness, promise, and potential. This rant would take the more traditional format, whereby I would have read the newspaper reluctantly and what actually jumped out at me. The first thing that jumped out really was Uncle Didi, and it reminded me of a katas I had gotten when I was in standard 2. Yep. Now, for me to remember that katas properly, like as I'm talking about it now, I get in some kind of phantom. Yeah, it was abuse, but I don't know if I would press charges. My father only disciplined me in that manner. Probably twice. Not to be confused with the amount of times that we fought. That's different. But in this particular case, it was that we were saying prayers. I was in standard 2. We were saying the evening prayers. And two of my friends were playing the ass, as children tend to do. They were knocking each other, like swaying and hitting each other, instead of standing with your hands clasped, head bow, saying, parroting, whatever they tell us to tell Jesus. So the teacher beat them after the prayers was over. And I find that she was out of place because she should not have been able to see them, because she should have been praying too. And in my anger, I confided in a frenemy, but at that time it was a friend. And he sell me out, and then I sell me out. I will take the bait. This was before the term gas up, but yes, properly well gas up. With, why you so vexed? Oh, Miss Guy, you vexed? What you want to do about it? What you could do? Oh, good. Yes, you should do that. Properly well get gas up. So anyway, I tell him that if it is, I could have, I would have cuss with she mother cunt. And I would have tell she how she damn fucking mother cunt ass. With my little self. And he proceeded, like in a cartoon with the outline. When before this and ass finished, he was already upstairs telling on me. And then a whole, what's the word, crowd, mob of people come to Miss calling you. Right. So we going upstairs reluctantly. They had was to pull me to the staircase, but you have your little pride. So the pride kicking at the bottom of the staircase. It's like, let me go. Now walk upstairs. And I put on, I'm really not good at lying. And that is one of my issues in life. I am really straightforward. So I try to lie. And if I had just stick to it, I would have got sure. Because I was like, no, I didn't say that, miss. Miss, I didn't say anything about miss me. I didn't say anything about no, miss. And then she say, listen. We have witnesses. Let me just say Miss voice was deep. She had too little hair and she chinning truth, But if it is you don't tell me out here, we will go in there. That was the principal office. And the principal in today's society would have been guilty of psychic assault. That is when somebody thinks that you are going to harm them, because he will display all of his whips and all of their colors and all of their intensities. Not to be confused with a dominatrix or S&M, But that is what he had going on, and I wonder, coming, oh my word, he really used to work late, you know. Hmm. Anyway, he's dead now. Rest in peace. Kelvin Marcel. Many decades ago. One of my first funerals. Well, no. Early funerals. One of the funerals that gave me nightmares because they kept his body too long because he went into politics and people had to see. And by the time I see him, I couldn't tell if he was a black man or a white man. Everything was looking pasty, pasty. And I just used to dream that he was coming at the foot of my bed and pulling my foot and asking me if I do my homework. That went on for a month. Almost skin crawling now. But coming back to the original digression, which was we will go in there. So that was it for me. Wherever that's happening there, I was never. I used to be a good child. So whatever was going on in there was my concern. So as yes, I tell. And when I tell the woman what it is, I say I would have tell she. If I could have tell she, the woman clutch, she pulls, she gasps. If you see thing, and you know what she tell me, and I never ever 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 forget her. I didn't believe him, you know. If you'd have just denied it one more time, I would have beat him, and not you. I can't believe you said, oh, you? But I was like, but what the ass is that? But that's what I was telling you all the time, miss me, and you keep, I do. So anyway, they make me write an essay as to what happened, and that was the most eloquent essay ever. One of the teachers decided to mako what I do in there, and she read it and she get pulled into this story, and then all I hear was the oh yeah, oh yeah, oh, this is where he write it, oh, this is where he write it. Yes, that's when she get to the curse part. And then, my father came and they told him, and he sat down and he put his head in his hand. It was a very dramatic, traumatic day. And then when we get home, I get that cut ass boy. Ooh, it was less than 10 lashes, but Jesus Christ. Ooh, kind of string me up with his hand, and you get a lash and you spin round. It was like a agitating a machine. I get one lash, I spin round, fall over the chair again, another one, oh God, spin back round. Jesus Lord. And after that cut ass, I just went and sleep. I don't even think I bathed. I went and sleep. I didn't wake up until my mother reached home. And she was going to beat me again. And then I negotiated. I was like, excuse, in case it is you're thinking about beating me. Who are you talking to? You. In case you're thinking about beating me, please remember that daddy already beat me. Just a little bit. He beat you already? Yes. You beat? Yes. Go in your bed. Whew. Crisis averted. Went back and sleep. So anyway, all of that digression was because the first thing as I open the newspaper, I see the housing, and I wanted to tell him to hell he damn fucking mother can't ask, because I understand fully well about the corona cases spiking and all of these things, right? But how the ass it is you go tell people to be fucking responsible. It have no filter for this one, because that is just foolishness. I don't really care. All who scared, all who want to lock down, all who want to lock up, all who want to kusume on the side, all who want a vaccine, all who don't want a vaccine is the mark of the beast. It's the signs of the time. I don't give a shit. At some point in time, logic have to start to prevail. How the ass it is you go tell big people to be considerate of the fact that just because it is you want a Lyman party and what the case is and all of that, and if it is they wasn't so irresponsible, they could have sent SCA children back out to school. What fuckery you getting on with this Saturday day? So you telling me it's irresponsible for me to want to spend time with my family and my loved ones, a basic human instinct? Why the fuck it is up to now it is you and have people inside of you be trying to make a vaccine? Are you doing these studies on this? Is it that you're still in denial? Is it that you think it could be like HIV, which they actually finalizing a vaccine for, by the way, and they're also working on male birth control. I don't know when the ass it is they will get that, maybe when I start to break powder, but it would be great if it could happen before that. It would be very, oof. Yes, that, yes. But what it is, you're telling people that is a normal, basic instinct, and at the end of the day, the virus is not going anywhere. It was here before, and it mutates. You know, it jump up, it get a little upgrade, like a software update. You know, and it handling the scene now. It come out a party, and it, you know, it contagious, and it want to get everybody a little touch. It very friendly. It open-minded. I understand that, but it's like you don't understand that. Staying locked down doesn't mean anything. It have carriers of the virus and all of that. If it is we borders closed, and every time we jump out, we still have the virus coming up. Which is that telling you? Now that the virus already here and it living in people, it dormant in people, and when it is it touch the right one and get them, the case dies, the person that does get the symptoms. It's every fucking thing I just tell people. I didn't go to school and whatnot for these things. Luck, we're not playing mosquito one, mosquito two. We're not playing Simon Says. It is grown ass people, and you're infringing on people's basic human needs and rights at this point in time, and you're not thinking long term. You're not thinking long term. And are getting fed up with this shit. And furthermore, even if it is you want to take the theory out, it like we hit them with the practical. At the end of the day, when they open back the schools, and it is out and know it had a whole case in Tobago, and all they had was to close down a school, and it was a student. Didn't it also have one in Shagwan and didn't it have one in another school? So opening up the schools to the SCA children to go to school, what the fuck that going and do? And then on top of that, now you have your whole situation with your these jackasses, so you call them the opposition. They're supposed to be giving their voters a voice. They're supposed to be giving their supporters a voice. They're supposed to be the voice of the opposite or the opposing force against the government. They're supposed to be the check. They're supposed to be the balance. Why the ass it is they wasn't there for the passing of the anti-gang bill, I'm not entirely sure. But I do know that this has been going on forever, and it was I believe it was proposed by them, denied by PNM, and then PNM bring it back, and then it denied by them, and all this childish shit is just telling me that all you don't have my best interest at heart. All you just nasty, stink and dirty with all your foolishness, and all you in the top offices of the land, and people watching all you, people patterning from all you, people looking at you as to how to behave, to have the moral compass, to decide if it is they're going to take a bribe or if it is they're going to do the right thing, what it is we had to do again for you. Look at how much allowances you have. Look at how much allowances you have, Lord Jesus. Look at how much allowances you have. Look at how much money you have. Look at how much interest. Imagine if it is you, one final law inconvenient to you. You know how to change the law to suit you. What else do you want? What do you tell yourself when you wake up in the morning and you look in the mirror? You think it's right. Oppositions. You really think, except Auntie Kami, I'm a girl, she birthday coming up, except she. You think that is right for you to have a whole situation where the Prime Minister have to impose restrictions. And all it is you could come in the fucking papers and say is that it will cause unemployment. What the ass wrong with you? Now, I have no issue with the fact that it will cause unemployment. That is a very infinitely important topic. But you're supposed to represent it properly, not in enough from a standpoint of folly. Yes, it's going to cause unemployment, so you would have hoped that the Prime Minister would have done something like this or like that, or you would be taking the initiative just like your leader did when she right in there. You'll be taking the initiative and reaching out with the business community, the Chaguanas Business Association, the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association, the Women in Business, I can't remember the rest of the situation. You know, you're reaching out to these people and you're going to come up with something. And you hear in the newspaper today inviting them to reach out to you to have a little something, a little, you know, a Zoom, a Skype, a WhatsApp group, a carrier pigeon, some kind of consultation towards coming up with something. But all they want to do is create fucking chaos, and I'm fed up with it. I'm fed up of it. I'm really, really fed up. I just need to take off my shoe, pass it in some pigeon shit, and then slap them in the face, and then pass it in some dog shit and slap them on the other cheek. I don't understand why it is, how it is you could be carrying on with this shit for so long and you not feeling anything. You really not feeling anything. You lose your humanity so long ago. You really not feeling anything, and you have the audacity to tell me that I should demand, that I should do this, that I boy hol your whole ass and your asshole. I for you working for me, I'm not working for you. I need to go to work and make minimum wage. You getting well above minimum wage for you to go and find out how to fix this and that and the other. Do I need to send you a memo, a warning letter, or something to remind you of your job description as public servant? But then again, that's how humans is. Or, just to remind all you all that I'm not illiterate, that's how humans are. But, with all this thing that going on in St. Vincent, it had all this fake news going around. And for the life of me, I still can't really decipher a proper motive as to why you would be spreading fake news on something that is so important. Some persons were saying maybe it's to drive content. I don't think so, though. I think it's something else. I don't think it's just for their own amusement or entertainment that they would be spreading fake news, which includes that nobody could be evacuated unless they take the COVID vaccine. That's not true. So, it has to be to create some kind of fear, some kind of destabilization of some, maybe it's their opposition leader doing it to destabilize the government. Maybe it's a power grab. Maybe it's just an experiment. But humans, I doesn't know, no? And it is so difficult to actually hold somebody accountable. But you know what? Eventually, at some point, they just dance on the wrong person grave. And the spirit does come back and fuck them up. This going on with some police officers because they went and touched up Uncle G's daughter and she man. And crap was smoked the pipe, Uncle G say he ain't even getting in. And I believe him because he gonna know it is he raised. He know what is that, So, and if it is he so, where's the word? It's not antagonistic without estrogen. Oh boy. That might be a power boost rider. So they pull over the people and them in some kind of a traffic stop, molest the vehicle, and send them on the way. And she taking them to court for abuse of police power, and she reached as far as to seeking to get an amendment to the bill that allows the police to stop and search as to define some specific parameters in which they should or could to protect people's civil liberty. Now, I fully understand. It's one of the few things I read in the papers that I fully understand. But who the ass have the time for that? Now, I'll tell you. One of the things that I want to do, if I get to do, would be to make enough money to have an agency. The same way how you would have a news agency. We gonna be, where's the word? The antagonizers. We're gonna be the ones jackassing the scene. So every day, you have your team and all of that. And the team heads going to bring what on the agenda today, what change they want to bring positive to the country, to the Caribbean, and to the world. And they plan to do it. And then they will go into the sub teams and they'll be like, okay, so you organizing the protest, you organizing the sit-in, you going to do the legal documents, you doing the press conference, and that's how we're going to effect the change that the people actually want. And of course, that is their full-time job. They will be compensated for it, so they will have the time. And because it's an organization, we'd have the means to actually do it, right? Maybe it could be an NGO or something like that. I'm not sure if it is we'll be able to have one office location because they might just bomb the building. But apart from that, that is the reality that we don't, people that we put to assist us bully us because we don't have the resources to defend ourselves. Because we're not supposed to have the resources to defend ourselves because they're supposed to defend us. A child doesn't come out of the womb with a piece of wood or a pocket knife and be like, whoops, moms, lace the milk, Lego the milk. That's not how it does work. Speaking of bandits, I see Scotiabank get the best bank in the country award. I don't know what piece of grease or finesse or gas up that is, but good for them. I mean, when you can't even properly Scotia, when it is you go to cash a Scotiabank check, they want to hold it for 4 days. Unless you in your branch or the branch that the check draw on, they want to hold their own check for 4 days. They have bank fees that hidden that you had to jump through hoops. They doesn't tell you that if it is you use your credit card on a local website, it's being treated as a cash advance and you will be charged cash advance fees. As set at but that is the best bank. Alright. Vibes. They also have the lowest market share. And they're closing down branches and they have declining profitability for the shareholders. So I just find it most interesting that they are the best bank. Having said that, they did make some changes whereby you can go into some of the branches and have a seat, take the Wi-Fi, take a number, and when they're ready, they call you. But that hardly qualifies to be the best bank when it is take, I think, 4 or 5 days for online transfer from them to another bank or another bank to them. Look, anyway, the best thing they have some kind of a salary account, I think, but that's not the name. But it is like if you just need to meet that requirement to get paid in the bank, they're supposed to have a salary account or something like that, and you don't pay the fees. That is the best thing that they have. And of course, speaking of humans again, an elderly woman of 96 was murdered in Sapario. I have no idea what the motive could be. If it is Granny, I really don't know. I really do not know. Right? Unless Granny was a Sukuya, I really don't understand what it is that 96-year-old could have done to deserve to be murdered at that age. I mean, you could literally wait, even if it is that person so horrible, you could just wait them out or sneeze on them. They mightn't even get corona from the sneeze, just the anxiety of it alone, and that is it. I don't see why it isn't any dead. But two things did stand out. One of the things only I'm not going to like, and I apologize beforehand, sincerely, but I'm still going to say it. I think Nenny was a lesbian. I do not have anything against lesbians. The reasons why some of you all don't like it is because you have something against them and you see it as an insult. I don't see it as an insult. And this is the reason why I think so. She is 96 years old. Everybody else in she generation have 1,000 children. She only had one child that she also outlived. May he rest in peace. He died when he was 76. Cancer. So may he rest in peace. One son. I feel that one son, she lived alone. She never had no man coming to check she. So that one child was just to get people off she back that she liked boys. And the only reason why it is my mind went there is because I was wondering if in her 96 years she had a fulfilling life. She wasn't living in a good house. It was broken down. So the person didn't even really have to break in her. They could have pushed something a little hard. The neighbor that find the woman didn't even, she tells she son to crawl through that space there and go inside and open the door for me. So It means that in your 96 years, you didn't even amass a lot of earthly possessions for whatever reason. And that is strange for a woman because all they had to do was marry a man that had worldly possessions. And even if they didn't, they would still be getting, like, in her case as a widow, she should be getting like his pension, her pension. You know, you don't have to be living that way. So, from that little story that have nothing to do with the woman's sexuality, I just drift off and was wondering if it is she lived a full life and if she lived her truth and if she was happy. Because if it is she was sad and depressed her whole life, that would explain why it is she didn't really get a lot of economic stability. She lived in the same village her whole life, so she never ventured out. And that could also explain why it is just one child. She take a man, make a child, get the respect of the village, and then just close up, literally. So I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I hope that I'm wrong, because I would hate to think that she was unhappy all this time. Having said that, I have no idea again who will tie up this woman on a bed and kill her. I mean, maybe she was a little bit younger or something. And why the bed? I guess we'll never know. But I do hope that she rests in peace and she finds some happiness. Also, wondering how fulfilled lives would be Prince Charles. He also was almost a centurion, and he would have come from an era where the man is king, the man is head. And he is a king that had to walk 3 paces behind the queen in public appearances. I think that they also said that he was racist and something else, but I think that his son had more royal privilege than he did because, of course, his son cometh from the queen and had more access than he did as a king. The son was a prince to classify documents and stuff. I don't know. I think that he was evolved for his time to not let that get to him, to not trip out and call Oprah and move to America, stuff like that. And I think maybe possibly I would be looking into his life because I'm curious. There's everything in him to suggest that he was a stereotypical male, especially for his time. How he would have been raised. He was born royal. Wasn't a Cinderella or a Cinderfella story. He was born royal and he would have been raised to be a king. And he was in the navy, so he would have fight, he would have done all those hyper masculine shit, and then be, okay to be second in such a big way. Now I'm perfectly sure that he and his wife had a great marriage. Nobody gonna live for so long if it is married to a bitch. But they would have a good marriage for me is mutual respect and understanding. I don't mean that it was Kama Sutra in every night, or I don't know, nor do I care. But if it is, he came from that era, I think is something that we are overlooking that we could learn from him. And maybe we could all be a little bit better, male and female, because of it. There was another piece of weirdness whereby St. Joseph police went all the way down a carcass. St. Joseph to Ikakas. Police doesn't even want to come within their own jurisdiction because they don't have a vehicle. But they went what would be like 5 or 6 jurisdictions out of their area because they had a warrant for a man that somehow ended up dead in the back of his own house. The mother say he was a good boy, and she not just saying that. She says his son then used to be a nothing. He used to drink, he used to smoke weed, and they can't kill him for smoking weed. My theory is that he was now starting to get it toe wet, especially with this corona, especially with it being a carcass. So be it maybe of any's illegal immigration or drug illegal immigration, or he must do one thing for the wrong person. I don't think that something like that happened just like that. And there was the talk of some money that his mother would know about, and of course nobody just called the mother after they commit a crime. It have the whole song that Rihanna sang over. Ram pa pa pum, ram pa pa pum, ram pa pa pum pum. Man down, some so. I got self-conscious at the end, and then I realized I wasn't going to take this out, so forgive me. I feel a little shy now. But you should remember this song. You should, Mama, I just shot a man. Right. So, apart from Riri and the original writer of the song, people generally doesn't call the mother after they commit a crime. So I figured maybe it had something like that. But in figuring that maybe it had something like that, exactly who do the police work for? That they just call a shot? Who does the police work for? Who? They're supposed to protect and serve. So who they protected and serve? And they're not supposed to be on-call executioners. It's not a food drop. But of course nothing will come out of that, Not one ass. Unless it was Uncle G's daughter that they considered interfere with, not one ass going to come out of that. The last thing in the papers that jump out at me is apparently men starting to get equal rights because a businessman is held for sexual assault on a minor. Nothing out of the ordinary, unfortunately, with that, except that the minor was 17. A male as well, 17. I don't mean to victim shame, but the article goes on to explain that he went to the store to buy something. The owner of the store invited him to come to the back. When he got to the back, thinking that it had some merchandise for him to purchase that he was interested in, the owner grabbed his, not the owner's own, but the victim's genitals. And that's it, full stop. Nothing in that makes sense to me, unless the 17-year-old guy is really small. Like really, when I say small, I don't mean shorter. I mean like really small, like a dwarf. And he felt intimidated. Unless that is the situation, I don't know what it is this businessman do to who for them to come up with this nonsense. But this would have been well orchestrated. Because he's just a minor for a few more months. And because he's a minor, it means they had to keep his name onto the papers and all of that. That businessman do the right person, the wrong thing. And I guess they're manipulating the system to get back at him. No 17-year-old boy going and let you squeeze his tootie and then go and tell. What happened? Where he was? He paid in the back of him or something? And he didn't see the person coming? Oh, please. Come now, man. Settle your damn self. But I like it. It is wrong, but I like that I seeing that men could do some kind of bitch things too. Or women things if you prefer. And manipulate the system and that kind of thing. No, I didn't know we could do that. I did not know we could do that. But it's wrong. So, I feel a little better after venting about all that foolishness in the paper, especially the last story. I like the last story. And I thank you so much for listening. I thank you so much for tuning in. And you have a fantastic rest of your day. I hope you listen to it softly because there are a lot of expletives in this one. And have a good rest of your day. Remember, share it, subscribe to the vibe, and comment towards our betterment. Vibes.